What's going on, everyone? So the Sacramento Kings are an absolute mess. They are very likely, I would be surprised at this point if they're able to keep De'Aaron Fox. I mean, I said the biggest mistake that they made this past offseason was signing DeMar DeRozan. It was the last thing that team needed. They didn't need an isolation-heavy, non-shooting three, not fast-paced, that doesn't defend type of player, right? They needed 3-and-D wings is what they needed. They needed size. They needed guys that can defend because you have De'Aaron Fox and you have Malik Monk. You were fine. You had the offensive firepower, Sabonis and all that. They panicked because Malik Monk got hurt and their offense just tanked. But instead of just understanding, like, how often is Malik Monk going to be hurt, right? They tried to overcorrect and it ended up biting them in the behind, right? And they just keep making poor decision after poor decision after poor decision. I even said in the offseason, if De'Aaron Fox doesn't get that Supermax, which he's not going to qualify for now, if he would have gotten that Supermax, I think he would have stayed because he's not going to turn down that extra year and that money, right? Now that he's not going to get the Supermax, I do not see him sticking around. There's no point. There's no reason. You're not going to win there. And they're stuck. So I think he's on his way out. They fire Mike Brown. Look, us Laker fans are very familiar with the coaching carousel. Coach is usually the first one to go when it's a disaster. Maybe Mike Brown lost the locker room, whatever. But I don't think it was necessarily a coaching issue, right? This guy was the unanimous head coach of the year 2 seasons ago, right? And now, look, league moves fast, but I think it's a roster issue. I think it's a personnel issue. He has a very specific style of offense and game planning that he likes to run, and they don't have the pieces to do that. They just went and got a guy that completely neutralizes what he likes to do, the type of play that Sacramento needs to play, and why they were so successful and why they were so good 2 seasons ago. And instead, they decided to go and fire. It's just, I don't know. Bad organizations make bad decisions. But nonetheless, right, De'Aaron Fox, Lakers are on the list of teams that are expected to, 1, go after him, but 2, potentially acquire him. I still think it's a very big long shot. I still don't. The only way I see De'Aaron Fox, and I've said this before, right? Did it in a video, like, how realistic is De'Aaron Fox? And like I said, the only way I see it happening is if De'Aaron Fox pulls an Anthony Davis. If he and Clutch, right, which is why I don't think it's 0%. I think it's low. I think it's like 90% that he doesn't come, maybe like 10%. And the only reason it's 10% is because he's a Clutch client, right? Like, Sacramento, the problem is that De'Aaron Fox only has 1 more year after this year. If he was on multi-years, even with Clutch, I'd be like, it's 0%, right? Just because, or close to 0%, right? Just because teams would probably take the chance if he was on like a 3-year deal, kind of like what you saw with Donovan Mitchell, right? They took the flyer. You knew you were going to have him for a couple years. But are teams really going to pony up the assets to go get a guy that would be a rental for a year, right? Like, Toronto was willing to do it, but they did it for Kawhi Leonard, who was at the time a top 3 to 5 player in the league, right? It's a big difference than a De'Aaron Fox who's top 20, 25, maybe 30, right? Like, wherever you slot him in. He's not a top 10. He's not a top 15, right? He's a very good player. He's an all-star caliber player. He is a star-level player. Like, he's a guy that can completely change things for your team, for your organization. He's one of the best fourth-quarter scorers year in and year out. He's one of the best clutch players year in and year out, right? There's a lot of value there. I still think, if I'm being honest and remove my Laker bias, I think the Spurs are probably the best place for him. I think him and Wemby would make for just a dynamic duo. They have the money. They have the capability. Like, they could really build a contender, and quick, with Fox and Victor Wembanyama. Now, as far as the Lakers go, because it's a Laker channel, even the reports say that they don't know how real the Lakers' chances are to get De'Aaron Fox and how much of it is just linked to him being a Clutch client, which is what I think it is. I just think he's a Clutch client. There's a possibility that De'Aaron Fox and Clutch, Rich Paul, kind of force him to the Lakers like they did with Anthony Davis. That's a real possibility. De'Aaron Fox and Anthony Davis as your duo going forward, good luck, right? That would just, again, another dynamic duo would be fantastic. I do think Fox would take a ton of pressure off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. If you can get Fox, you go get Fox by any means necessary, right? I've seen people say you do not trade Austin Reeves. What are you talking about? Like, De'Aaron Fox is everything that the Lakers have been screaming for trading Austin Reeves for. Now, if you can keep Austin Reeves, fine, keep Austin Reeves, right? If you can have De'Aaron Fox because he gives you the point of attack, he gives you the defense, he gives you the foot speed, the athleticism, all of those things. So him and Austin Reeves, I do think could work as your backcourt duo. But it's fine. If I was going to try to keep anybody, it would be Max Christie just for the 3-and-D purposes. Luckily, De'Aaron Fox, best case scenario, you trade for him this season by this trade deadline because you would still be able to go make other moves. His contract's cheap enough to where you basically could do like D'Lo, Austin Reeves, and like a Gabe Vincent or something like that, right? And obviously picks. You're gonna have to give up all your first, all your picks, which is fine. You got your all-star point guard or all-star caliber point guard for the next 5+ years, right? Now, there are concerns once he starts getting into his 30s. What does the decline look like? But you're still 3 years away from him being 30, and you're probably at least 5 years away from him being, starting to see the decline. He'll be fine, especially with the new medicine, new NBA stuff like he'll be fine. So whatever it takes. Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect. You probably have to trade him. And look, I'd love to keep Dalton Connect, but you have to give something to get something. Even if, right, look at the Anthony Davis situation. Anthony Davis and Rich Paul were doing everything they could to force Anthony Davis to the Lakers. Other teams wanted to trade for AD. I mean, even the Celtics were trying to trade for AD, and they did everything good. Lakers still had to sell the farm to get AD. You're still going to have to sell the farm to go get De'Aaron Fox, but that's fine, right? Like, if you can then go and pivot and go get, like I said, a Day'Ron Sharpe or something like that, right? And now let's say your starting five is, Fox, Max Christie, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then if you can get a Day'Ron Sharpe or a Jonas Valanciunas, whatever, you're fine. You're great. You're in great shape, right? Like, let's go try to win a championship, right? Like, that's how I'd be looking at it. De'Aaron Fox would elevate this team, kind of give them everything they need. A guy that can, 1, push the pace, 2, operate in that half court, 3, give them clutch scoring and closing down the stretch, take pressure off of LeBron James, take pressure off of Anthony Davis, that 2-man game with De'Aaron Fox and LeBron, that 2-man game with De'Aaron Fox and Anthony Davis. De'Aaron Fox isn't this great 3-point shooter, but he has improved over the years, and he can get hot. He's one of those guys, but it's just the defensive impact and intensity, the athleticism and the foot speed. Talk about a guy that go get you, 27, 5, and 5 on every given night. He's on most nights probably going to be your best player, number one option, right? LeBron can now, it gives everything LeBron has been trying to search for the last however many years, right? De'Aaron Fox is that. Athletic, can make plays, can score the basketball, basically do everything out there on the basketball court, take the pressure out of LeBron. LeBron can kind of, play and operate off ball, and, there'll be times where you need him on ball and stuff. You'll be good. You can literally go get De'Aaron Fox and then still go make 2 or 3 other moves, and you're fine, right? Like, if you're the Lakers, you're doing whatever you can to get De'Aaron Fox. You're selling whatever you have to sell to go get De'Aaron Fox, right? All the picks, all the pick swaps, whatever. It doesn't matter. And then at that point, you're just trying to fill out the roster because now you have De'Aaron Fox, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, which might be the best trio in the league. Would there be a little bit of a learning curve? Probably, right? Particularly with LeBron James and De'Aaron Fox, right? They'd have to kind of figure out how to play with each other. I believe that they'd be able to play with each other. I think they'll figure it out. LeBron, again, has been looking for a guy like De'Aaron Fox for years now. I think he'd make the adjustments. He'd make the moves. He's still going to go get his 20 or whatever, right? Throughout the course of the game. But I just think De'Aaron Fox kind of takes on all of the responsibilities, would be able to handle everything, gives you that kind of 1A, 1B with Anthony Davis going forward, right? What better option are you going to get alongside Anthony Davis post LeBron James? Like I mentioned, you're now a legit contender. You're probably one of the best teams in the league at that point with those 3 guys. Only thing stopping you at that point is health, which, knock on wood, right? You're in good shape if you can get De'Aaron Fox. But again, how realistic is it to get De'Aaron Fox? I don't think it's 0. I don't, primarily because he's a clutch client, and De'Aaron Fox has 1 more year on his deal. So De'Aaron Fox has a lot of leverage and a lot of say in where he wants to go. The problem is, if he's open to pretty much anywhere else, that other team is probably going to go get him, right? If San Antonio, if he's yeah, I'll go to San Antonio, I'm open to San Antonio, he's going to San Antonio, right? He has to want to go to the Lakers. Unless Sacramento just loves Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect or something like that. Realistically, they would send him anywhere else on principle than to send him to the Lakers. The last place they want to send him is the Lakers, right? So you add in that factor. You add in if he's open to any other team, you can kiss De'Aaron Fox to the Lakers goodbye. But if he's willing to kind of force his way there, it's a big market. You and Anthony Davis get to be the guys, right? 1A, 1B. Anthony Davis, there's still questions about can he be the 1A guy. So De'Aaron Fox might be the 1A guy, right? So he gets to go to the Lakers, be the face of the Lakers alongside Anthony Davis. You're going to be contending. I mean, look, him and Sabonis have been a good duo. Him and Anthony Davis would be elite. Because now you have that point of attack athletic guard to pair alongside one of, if not the best defensive players in the entire league, right? Like, Sabonis isn't that. Anthony Davis could go get you 30, 12, and he can do a lot of the same stuff that Sabonis does. Maybe not so much the pass. Sabonis is a really good passer, but get you the rebounding, get you the scoring, but much better. Like night and day defense. If the Lakers can get De'Aaron Fox, you don't, we're going to not trade. No, you don't mess around with that. You go get De'Aaron Fox. Austin Reeves is not better than De'Aaron Fox. He's not close to being better than De'Aaron Fox, right? You go get De'Aaron Fox. Now you're set for the next at least minimum 5+ years, right? And now you're at least in the contending conversation year in and year out for the next, like I said, 5+ years. Even after Anthony Davis, say Anthony Davis has another 3 years or whatever, you still probably have De'Aaron Fox for a couple more years to go bring in that other guy or two and take another shot at a championship. Lakers would be in excellent shape, right? Even through all the draft picks that they've sent out and everything like that, you'd be fine. You'll be a contender. You're not worried about the draft picks. You're not worried about the players, right? I love Dalton Connect. I loved it. The only guy I would want to keep is Max Christie. And the only reason I'd want to keep Max Christie, look, I'm not saying that Max Christie should be the difference, right? Like, if you have to give up Max Christie, you have to give up Max Christie. But the only reason I'd want to keep Max Christie is because he would just fit so much better next to Fox as that legit 3-and-D guard, right? That 2 guard that can slot in next to Fox, defend the best player or the second best player if Fox is defending that, right? You got now your star, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. You got your legit 2-way, 3-and-D style type of shooting guard, which would be ideal alongside the other guys. And then go get a legit 3-and-D wing, Dorian Finney-Smith. I still think, off the top of my head, you could probably get Kyle Kuzma if you had to. If not, well, you wouldn't have picks, so that might not be something. But even like, Cody Martin, whatever. Get whatever you have to do. Jared Vanderbilt, my problem with Jared Vanderbilt is, like, you'd be terrible shooting the basketball, right? Because Max Christie, he's young and he's inconsistent at times shooting the 3-ball. De'Aaron Fox, like I mentioned, isn't this lights-out 3-point shooter. LeBron James is really, hit or miss. Anthony Davis, kind of same thing. My concern would be Jared Vanderbilt kind of slotting in, and you'd be probably elite. You'd probably be the best defensive team in the league, but offensively, I would have my concerns. But we'll see. Time will tell, right? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think, yes, Lakers need to go get De'Aaron Fox? Do you think no? Right? It's not the piece, not the guy for the future. You need to go look elsewhere or be patient or whatever, or just don't focus on stuff. I don't want the Lakers to wait, is my thing. Right? Like, my big concern is that, like, De'Aaron Fox is the shiny toy, and the Lakers decide to just wait around for him rather than making a move. Do not do that. But anyway, again, have a feel, whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.